shining star. His job to offer battle to bad men near and far. He conquered fear and he conquered hate. He turned dark night into day. He made his blazing saddle a torch.
Want wrestlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits, vipers, snipers, conmen, Indian agents, Mexican bandits, muggers, buggerers, bushwhackers, hornswogglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, ass kickers, shit kickers, podcasters, and Methodists.
Justice for all as his
Man,
aim.
welcome to
Out
freaking
of the
flyover
sun
film
rose a
country.
man with a gun, and Bart
Goodness.
Guess
Oh,
what we're
man.
talking about today?
Today we are discussing Blazing Saddles. In case you didn't get that from the little intro music that we had today. So, where do we even start with this?
I love this movie. I don't think anyone who knows me really well is surprised by that, but I was excited when someone mentioned this from our listenership as something we should cover this year. So I was like, yes, let's do it. Come on, let's go. So
Who was it? Do we remember? Do I need to go
do
look
we
it up?
remember?
I don't know, but I will find out.
Okay, great.
I can find out quickly.
Cool.
While you're finding out, John Morris wrote the theme for Blazing Saddles that we just heard a snippet of, and he apparently, I don't know if it was Mel Brooks or someone else, but apparently he was informed that this was going to be like a serious Western and not a satire, and he put his heart and soul into it, and it's a great song, so it just kind of adds another layer of humor to
I
the
think
movie.
that makes it, I think that makes it all
Even
the
better.
more better.
Yeah.
That he didn't know it was a satire and didn't know it was a comedy and thought it was this serious film and wrote this incredible song.
I'm currently realizing that no one did suggest this movie, and I'm thinking that maybe Isaac just
Maybe I was just like, let's just do Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
there's
that's
no
not what I
comment.
remember.
Unless
That's not what I remember.
Someone could have DM'd us, I guess. I think a couple people DM'd us,
Yeah,
but
I think-
I'm looking on our Instagram and I don't see anyone.
It was probably
Yeah,
Zach.
Zach
I
does
mean-
love this movie. That's the first time I ever watched this movie was with Zach. He showed me this movie when I was way too young to understand why it's funny. So
Nice.
I'm sensing a pattern here with the movies that you guys watch together. Or
yeah,
did watch together.
yeah, the video games and the movies. He's very older brother energy, showing me things that I should not have been watching or playing for sure.
That was just my parents.
Well,
I do that to my parents now. That's like
Nice.
my role because they
Nice.
are like they didn't watch anything like that, and so I show my parents all the crazy stuff now.
Amazing.
I think I've shared this with you guys on an episode in the past, but I just like put on Blazing Saddles sometime last year. I'll have to go check my letterbox to see exactly when, but I was just I realized, oh, this is an hour and a half long. The kids are asleep. Jess is kind of doing her own thing. I'm just gonna watch this, and I think she was grading, and I was laughing so hard that she came out and she was like, "You have to be quiet. Like I cannot concentrate." Like so loud and then like so like without stopping basically because this movie is just one hilarious scene after another. And then I watched it again about a month ago and it solidified itself as like a classic for me, probably like a top 10 movie for me personally.
That's high praise
Right.
for you.
Yeah, that's
Right next to Tree of Life. So
Oh my gosh. Talk about range.
yeah.
exactly. I have good taste. What can I say? What do you guys think about Blazing Saddles?
So I think I'm the only one who watched it for the first time for this episode, right? So
Yeah.
it was fine. I thought it was funny. I laughed at different parts, but I don't think I loved it like you do, Isaac. So, and it's not even like so for anyone who hasn't seen Blazing Saddles, it came out what, 74?
1974.
74.
Yep.
So it came out in 74. It very much is ahead of its time in a lot of ways. And
Yeah.
people, Isaac, I noticed in the dossier you like put in the whether or not it could be remade today controversy. And I kept reading that on Letterboxd. It's like, this couldn't be remade today. And I was just like, it's not any more offensive than anything else I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about I know Walker hasn't, because we talked about this in our group on Instagram when I sent in the Scary Movie 6 trailer and hadn't seen it. But like, those movies are also just as like ridiculous and like offensive, and so I don't know. I feel like this is kind of in a similar vein as like those movies or like South Park or Family Guy.
Mhm.
Like I think there's lots of things that could be compared to Blazing Saddles. Obviously, this was way before all those things, but I just didn't love it. I don't know. And maybe I wasn't.
Well, I
in
mean,
the
like
right
the
headspace.
elephant in the room is like how racially charged the movie is, not in a dark way. It's like it's making light of, it's, I don't know how many times the N word is used in the movie, but it's a lot.
Well,
it is
and-
a lot, and that is gonna make so many people uncomfortable, and I
Yeah.
recognize that for sure.
Well, and not only the N-word. I mean, in the first 3 minutes of this movie, there are 3 racial slurs and a
Mhm.
homophobic slur used in like
Mhm.
literally the first 3 minutes. Like, it's pretty.
At the same
but
time, we have Quentin Tarantino writing himself into film so he can say the N-word.
yeah,
Like, just, I don't, yeah, like, that's my thing is, like, this is not, like, crazy. Should those things be said? No. Like, but that's the point of this movie,
Yeah.
is, like, hey, we're gonna
I-
highlight racism and sexism, too. Like, there's some of that as well, but, like, we're gonna highlight racism and talk about how terrible white people are.
yeah.
And we're going to make people feel uncomfortable, but we're also going to make people laugh, which is
Yeah.
great. And I can get behind that. I just don't think I loved this film in the same way that maybe you guys did.
Well, I'm more on the same page with you, Olivia, and that
Okay.
I laughed. I have a good time watching this movie. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, this movie's all right. It's fun. I enjoyed watching it, but like Isaac said, he watched it like what, a month ago, and then, or like probably won't watch it again for years.
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna seek it out. I think that the whole "could this be made today" debate is always just really silly and funny
Mhm.
because, especially when it comes to comedy, because comedy is so interesting right now, and people who are a lot of comedians right now suck and are boring and just cry about being canceled and stuff all the time. But I really like this comedian Anthony Jeselnik's take on it, which, like, I'm not a huge fan of his stand-up. It's just not for me. But his take on offensive stuff, I think, is the right one, where he's like, if you tell a joke and people get offended, that just means you're not funny enough. Like, your
Mhm.
joke is not funny enough if people are getting offended. And he is like the dark humor guy. Like, he tells really kind of insane jokes, and he's like, and people laugh and no one gets mad at me, and it's because I'm funny. And if you're crying because you told a joke and people got mad at you, it's because you're not funny enough. And I'm like, I kind of agree with them. Like,
Yeah.
if they wanted to make this movie today, make it funny enough, and no one's
Right.
gonna care,
Well-
or not enough people are gonna be mad about it.
Right. I mean, because they did that with The Naked Gun, right?
Right.
Like hilarious. Like every moment of that movie has a joke to it,
Yeah.
and some of it probably pushes the limits a little bit, but like
Yeah.
it's funny the whole time.
Right.
And so that's a remake of a movie that probably also a lot of people were like, they could never remake this today.
Yeah.
But they did.
Well, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is still on TV.
Right.
Like, and they,
Right.
like, they literally have a whole thing where they're remaking the Lethal Weapon movies, and like, different characters are doing blackface on a show
Yeah.
that's on cable TV. Like,
Yeah.
it's Yeah. So
One of the things that I do not feel the need to either convince both of y'all that this is a masterpiece or defend it for the creative decisions it's made, because like it kind of speaks for itself, especially some of the research that we compiled for this episode. Like this kind of started like the modern parody movie.
Sure, yeah.
And remains like one of the best examples of it. Like this was before Airplane. And Airplane, I would say too, is like also like every single joke, I think except one that I can think of in Airplane, is still like so funny 50 or 60 years later, like whenever that was made. But the thing that was cool, kind of like researching for this episode, was realizing that like there's a behind the scenes where Mel Brooks says the thing that drives this movie is like the racial hatred and bigotry. But and then Gene Wilder had a really funny way of putting it. He said, when I read the script, because initially Mel Brooks wanted him to play Harvey Korman's character Hedley Lamar, and he said, I'm not right for that role. And then eventually, I forget exactly what happened. I'm going to try to find out during this episode while we're talking. But whoever was going to play the Waco Kid dropped out, and then
they had, I think I read that they got like alcohol poisoning or something on set the first
the scene
day,
where he's introduced. That hold on, I know I just read that. It was where it says Young.
Daly or no, there was another guy that like Ron Daly.
Gig Young. Gig.
Okay,
Young
so he got there was another guy, like a bunch of people. They asked John Wayne if he would be the Waco Kid, and he was like, "This is not like." He wanted to be all family friendly and stuff,
which is hilarious considering that man was married 3 different times, had several affairs. Like, it was horrifically racist.
But he had his public image to think about, you know?
He probably was like, I over-identify too much with these racist characters. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. Anyway.
This isn't satire. This is just my real life.
Yeah. Like, I don't say anything funny about it. I feel this way. Gene Wilder had this way. He said, the reason I love this script and I love this movie now, even to this day, is like, they are kind of not dismantling, but they're making fun of racism while like slapping you in the face with jokes every 3 minutes. And there's just like, that's a really uncommon thing. There's just like no other movie really like it in that way. Yeah. And then also like, this is knowing that this inspired Airplane, it makes total sense why I think this is hilarious, because Airplane is also one of my favorite comedies of all time, and I'll just like I would watch it every day if I just had all day to kill, you know. So
yeah, this movie is, I mean, like I said, I do think it was very funny, and I think the reading that Gene Wilder and the main actor, I can't remember his name, Cleveland Little, are friends off screen too, like that comes across so clearly on screen, and it like just makes the movie a lot better. Their relationship, it just like they both are so good in this movie and so fun, and it just works so well. It works so well, and I love that specifically the scene where he's talking about how everyone in the town is just a bunch of poor farmers, and he says, you know,
wait, hold on.
Let me find that.
Morons.
You know, morons.
You've got to remember, these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land, the common clay of the New West. You know, morons. And like Cleavon Little like breaks, and like I love that they put that in the movie.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
That's so good. Yeah. I wonder how many times they had to like they broke character because they were trying to make each other laugh so hard. Because it is, I do agree, like their chemistry is wonderful, and and they are so funny together, and you can tell they just genuinely enjoy working together,
Mm-hmm.
which is so fun to watch on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene Wilder is really good in it because he's playing the straight man basically the whole time, and that's like fun because I feel like when we think of Gene Wilder, we think of these like kind of really eccentric, over the top
Yeah.
characters, and so it's fun to see him play the straight man in this film.
Walker, before you got on, I was like just getting in the podcasting mindset, which is
Mhm.
something I haven't unfortunately made time to do recently because of my life in
Yeah.
general. But I was watching clips and like behind the scenes stuff and just kind of like, thinking about what I wanted to say. And I was watching the scene where he says, I used to be the Waco kid. And he said, yeah, see this? And he goes, yeah, so what's the deal? And he goes, I shoot with this hand. And his hand is like, his left hand is shaking. And it was in the middle of that Olivia got on and joined the call. And I was like laughing my ass off. What are you laughing at?
So that scene, I have a funny connection to because Gene Wilder died, I think, when I was a senior in either a junior or a senior, and I was drum major in marching band, both those years. And one of the things I did was I would do a different salute at every game, and most of them were movie references. And so the week that Gene Wilder died, that was my salute, was I held up like my steady hand and then pulled up the wobbling
Nice.
one.
That's
funny.
awesome. That's amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, he died in August of 2016,
Yeah.
which would have been right going into our senior year of college. Are you that much younger than us? I know we talk about that a lot, but in my head,
Aren't you 26?
Yeah, I'm 26. Yeah.
man, that's crazy. So we were all
Baby face.
seniors.
Yeah, we're all seniors.
We were all seniors and graduated at the same time, just different
High school and
uh,
college.
Yeah.
Me and
Yeah.
Olivia, you could say, are senior citizens.
Yeah.
My back and my knees sure feel like it.
I give my condolences, by the way. I don't know if you guys were keeping up with the UCA, but they lost the
I
conference
was.
championship today. So
To who?
Queens College or
Queens.
something.
Yeah. It was
Which
it was
is
tough.
Isn't
Sounds
that where
fake.
Alexander Hamilton wants to go? I'm going to get a scholarship to Queens
Yeah.
College.
Yes. Yep.
So it's East Coast.
Yes, it is in New
Are
York.
you sure that Alexander Hamilton wasn't talking about King's College, the college that Dinesh D'Souza founded? Just this is a joke. It was a
I
joke.
was like, I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm like, this is
Dinesh D'Souza, not a good
no.
person.
The
So-
lyric
Isaac-
is, "I'm gonna get a scholarship to Queens College."
I believe you. I was making a joke. Much
you
like,
should be funnier.
Yeah, you're just not funny enough.
or maybe y'all don't know who Dinesh D'Souza is, and you're not willing
I
to
don't.
admit it.
I don't.
I don't.
There you go.
I don't have
Guess
to
what?
not.
I
I'm
do.
Not,
Okay.
Not admitting it. I
Yeah.
just don't know.
So maybe you should be funnier, and Walker and I should know more things.
Yeah.
Let's. You know
Hey,
what? I
I
think we
just-
all have things to work on. So
Yeah.
I don't think you should attack me on International Women's Day.
is
That's
it
true.
today?
It is today, actually.
Let's give it up
and
for Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Isaac, I can't believe you have a wife and you have 2 daughters and a
And you didn't
mother
even know.
and several sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm not
a
mad. I'm
father
just
whose
disappointed.
birthday is today. So happy birthday! David.
Wow. What a feminist to have his birthday on International Women's Day. That's so.
Is it? I don't think it's always on March 8th every year. Is
No,
it?
it is. It 100% is.
You think International
I
Women's
love
Day is.
women. Look,
It's
look,
the
let me
first
just-
Saturday of March, whatever date that might be, or Sunday, whatever date that
Isaac
might
is
be.
about
I'm the
to-
mother of a son.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're about to do the Will Ferrell
I'm the son of a
speech.
mother.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
love women.
Amazing.
Speaking of women, so Madeline Kahn, who plays what is her name? She plays Lily von Stupp. This is a very overt homage slash parody of Marlene Dietrich in The Blue Angel and Stage Fright, which were 1930 and 1950 films, respectively.
So
Kind of like a seductress, stage performer. And it's, misogyny is one of the lesser, or not one of the smaller quibbles, like following after racism, that this movie has kind of attracted over the years. But Olivia mentioned it kind of at the beginning of this episode, so I thought I'd segue into that. So yeah, what did y'all think about? I don't know, her character. I think is very funny, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I think everything in this movie is funny. So, but what did y'all, specifically Olivia? Happy International Women's Day. What did you think about this performance from Madeline Kahn?
I really liked the performance. I thought she was really funny. Fun fact, I was looking at her filmography. She voices she voices one of the characters in A Bug's Life, and I can't remember which character it is now that I start talking about that. It's not the Queen Ant. It's one of the older like characters that
really?
he like runs into with the circus or whatever. Anyway, so I was very excited to make that connection because I love A Bug's Life. Anyway, back to this actual movie though, that we're actually covering, Blazing Saddles. I thought I loved her little
Gypsy
number.
Moth.
Yes, yeah, the moth. I loved this character's like number in the saloon. I thought it was really funny and really good. I think she's an interesting character for sure. And so the way she was able to like kind of play off all these men in a way that you really didn't see. Obviously this is set in the like 1800s, but like obviously you wouldn't have seen that in the 1800s, but you also didn't see a whole lot of that in the 70s when this film came out either. So that was really cool to see her kind of hold her own against these actors as they're being super racist and sexist towards her. And she plays into that, I think, really well too. So those are my thoughts.
Some quick romancing and then a shower. Stage door Johnnies constantly surround me. They always help me with one request. Who can satisfy their lustful habits? I'm not a wabbit. I need some rest.
The fact that she's like German, isn't she?
Yeah.
Or supposed to be. So the fact that she like can't say her R's is also really, really funny.
Sick and tired of love. Anyway, yeah. She is so funny in this. So, yeah, apparently she's also, I think she's mentioned on screen too as like the Teutonic Titwillow. Anyway,
I gotta be honest.
And she got a Best Supporting Actress nom for it.
Wow.
The performance scene to me, I didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that bravely on International Women's Day. I don't know why. It just really didn't hit for me. Maybe it's because I'm too young. I'm so young over here. Maybe that's why.
It's the youth.
No,
Youth
I mean
these days.
These days.
The way that she was talking, I literally think this is what it is. The way that she's talking, like all I could think about was Bugs Bunny. And so like I really couldn't even pay that much attention because every time she would say something, I just like kept thinking of Bugs Bunny. It was like messing with me.
Hey, I'm really glad you brought up Bugs Bunny because one of the funniest bits in this whole movie is whenever Mongo comes to town. and
I do know that's like one of Walter's favorite scenes I think it might be his favorite scene in the movie.
That's probably my favorite scene too. So Sheriff Bart, he dresses up as like
postal worker.
A postal, yeah. Remember the Pony Express?
Yeah, and it's like a bomb in the mess, like the letter or whatever. And he walks out. Yeah, Candygram, and he walks out, and you hear the Looney Tunes music playing, which was so good because I knew immediately. Something so like zany is about to happen, and it was.
I have to say that scene too. I don't know why. Like it hit me so good. Like he's just like pushing like his back on the piano, and all the dudes around it just going, oh. Like I was like, what's even going on? Like this doesn't even make any sense. But it was very funny. Yeah, that scene's awesome.
What does Mongo
that's-
say later when he's like in the jail? Mongo is just a tool.
Mongo only pawn in Game of
Pawn.
Life.
That's what
Fun
it
in the
says.
game of life.
In the game of life. Say Mongo.
Sheriff Love, or Mongo loves Sheriff Bart. Yeah, I mean,
So
like
funny.
1974 was it was still, there was a lot of stuff happening with Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunny. I think I don't know enough about Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes history. Like I watched it incessantly growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know enough to know exactly what was going on in 1974. But clearly, it was syndicated and
Yeah.
very popular. So
Yeah.
I laughed at
Yeah.
that, and it's Warner Brothers, so
Right, yeah.
which produced this movie. So yeah,
I love Looney Tunes, truly. And I
Me too.
love that like they incorporated all these like great musical like pieces from different operas and different sort of classical music periods. That so like when I hear them, I always think now, oh, this was in Looney Tunes. Which is probably not how those composers would have loved their
Yeah.
music being remembered, but I know
But you
those
had-
pieces because of Looney
Yeah.
Tunes.
Yeah.
you look back on you look back on Looney Tunes, and the people who are making like those animators, and like Fritz Lang was like a big time filmmaker and made a ton of other movies that are critically renowned and will have a place in cinema history for forever. You just had like the most talented people and the funniest people making these cartoons for kids
Mhm.
Yeah.
that were just as enjoyable for adults to watch, and not because it was crass or anything, but because it was just like historical, and there's classical music, and there's like the scene. Oh my gosh, there's this guy in our office two guys, and they would sit across from each other, and I think they would like make each other sick like 6 times a year, and they would cough and cough and cough and cough, and they'd sit behind like my cubicle, and it would happen every year. And so we'd always make jokes about it, like, are they not vaxxed, and stuff like that. And and then one day I sent the gif of Bugs Bunny like pulling up to he walks out on stage and he bows and he's in the tuxedo and he's gonna like play a concert as a pianist, and he like takes off like 7 pairs of gloves because he has like white gloves on,
Yeah.
and then he like sits down. He's about to play, and the dude goes, and then he like waits, and then he goes, and then he's about to start, and the dude starts coughing again, and Bugs Bunny pulls out a gun and shoots him. And it's like no words, just the funniest. It's the funniest gag in the world, and Looney Tunes. It's the same reason I like Blazing Saddles. The scene where the Waco Kid doesn't draw his gun. You don't see him draw his gun, and he disarms like all those guys just like in 1 second.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like it's a Looney Tunes joke. All right, that's
Well,
good.
I
can
thought
stop
Walker was
there.
going to
So
say something.
Sorry. I started thinking about SpongeBob then. So sorry. There's like the SpongeBob bit. Like you want to see me run to that rock and back.
You always
You
do-
want to see me do it again.
Okay, I'm glad you played that soundbite. Have you guys watched White Chicks?
Yeah.
I actually
Okay.
have not seen White Chicks,
Okay, Isaac,
but
I
I've
think
watched
you would love White
Blazing
Chicks.
Saddles twice and a lot of Looney Tunes in my childhood.
So I get it. You had parents who actually cared what you watched. That's
Yeah.
fine. Whatever. Can't relate.
Not what I meant to
No, I
communicate.
know. I'm just kidding. Hey, it's International Women's Day. Just let me have it, okay?
Hey,
Yeah.
at least your parents aren't watching Angel Studios productions.
So true. So true,
That's
bestie.
true.
So
That's true.
Uh, so we watched White Chicks as a family movie, and there's once the scene where they do the makeover scene and they get, the Wayans brothers dressed up to be white women. There's a
Mhm.
song that plays, and they open the door, and there's this very nerdy looking white guy and his whole team. And as they open the door, you hear, "Where the white women at?" And he has his glove on, and he's like, "Let's do this." And then it starts playing some song. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what, as soon as I realized like this is what this was from, and I knew it before I watched this movie, but seeing it in its actual context is so funny. Is so good. White Chicks is another movie people are like, "Oh, this would never be remade today." First of all, they're making a sequel. So
Really?
they're in talks to make a sequel. I guess it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I've seen where the Wayne brothers said if Scary Movie 6 does really well, then they'll make
Yeah.
a White Chicks sequel.
Recession.
And
we're
also,
going into
White Chicks has not
recession.
aged that poorly. Like, actually, I think it's aged really well considering the premise of the film.
It's still very
Yeah.
funny.
It's still very funny. So good.
Watch it.
Recession indicators, though.
Yeah, no, for
Scary
sure,
Movie
for sure.
6, another White Chicks. Bad Boys 9 is going to come out soon. It's going to be like
Mhm.
all AI Will Smith.
Here's
Yeah.
okay. Can I just say something? As someone who will probably always be a single income and will always be a renter, if there's a recession and the housing market crashes, this
Mhm.
might be my one chance to buy a house.
I know. We can
So-
finally, we can finally, what are the memes? Like, I wish in 2008 I would have bought a house instead of attending elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have been purchasing a house in 2008 instead of worrying about Algebra 1.
Yeah.
So, playing Rock Band.
I have to say one of my favorite, I guess like younger millennial older Gen Z memes is like me while my parents were dealing with the 2008 financial crisis, and it's
Playing
like
DDR.
yeah, or like Halo
Guitar
sniping
Hero.
compilations.
That reminds me of I don't know if the algorithm would have brought this to Olivia, but it probably has brought it to you, Walker,
Mhm.
where the guy's playing video games and the caption's like me playing Elden Ring and my son sticks a fork into an outlet and it's like it like lights up his
Yeah.
face and he goes and he like keeps playing. He says I can't pause it. So anyway,
That's really fun.
what oh yeah, another classic Madeline Kahn Lily von Stupp quote, "A wed woes, how romantic." I think there's one thing about Blazing Saddles that I wanted to tell y'all, like, again, not a defense, just like a personal, explanation of why it is, like, the ending is the reason why it is one of my favorite movies. Because
Yeah.
when you realize, like, okay, they've been breaking the fourth wall this whole time. Like, multiple characters, like, look at the
Mhm.
screen,
Mhm.
especially Cleavon Little, and like break the fourth wall, look at the audience. But then when it's going into the climax and the final battle, and then it spills over into the Warner Brothers lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I was crying, laughing, and how they go into like the Singing in the Rain set,
Yeah.
and he's the sheriff, played by Slim Pickens, is about to punch that guy, and he goes, "Not in the face," and he punches him in the stomach instead.
And, he
And
goes,
then they go
"Thank
into
you."
the cafeteria, and then he's like, "You can't fire us. We worked for Mel Brooks." Like, the reason that when it gets that meta is and then when Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder at the very end getting a limousine
Yeah.
and drive away.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah, yeah.
It killed me the first time. And just knowing that it's coming is like even more of like this was such a bold move or like decision to make. Like, I don't know, just we're making fun of Westerns, so we'll also make fun of like Hollywood
Yeah.
producing Westerns, and we'll end with a big dumb set piece where everyone is just like destroying everything. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that is my favorite part of the whole movie is that ending fight is so funny. Even knowing I knew it was coming, and I laughed so hard again, because the just the hard cut like to the singing and zoom out and pan over, which was really fun, and then cut to singing in the rain type thing going on, and then their conversation they have about the dance is really funny too, and like him trying to show the dancers how to do the dance and stepping in the water.
yeah.
But then just the wide shot of the dance going on, and then the wall just busting down, and a whole crowd of people coming in, just all punching each other and fighting. It's just so funny. I think it's really funny too, the cafeteria scene. I love like just every table is such like a unique conglomeration of costumes and people. And you think about Hollywood at that time, though, those studio lots, they must have actually been like that. Like the spot where everyone's eating, it's like you can have a World War II film, a Western, and Singing in the Rain all filming right next to each other, and they're all eating in the same spot.
Right.
I like how in the scene in the cafeteria, there's like the tour guide taking that group of people through, and they walk out and they're all just covered in food.
Yeah.
And then there's one point where one of the characters like kind of slides across the counter and is right next to the cash register, and the woman at the register is like, all right, so you've got, and like names whatever his food is on that person, and is like, that'll be $7 whatever. And it just made me laugh really hard, because I'm like, that is a really good bit, man. Yeah, I do think that was really funny. And again, I love that it's making fun of Westerns and how Hollywood goes about Westerns. Because, like, I mean, it's funny that they wanted John Wayne, because he is like the cowboy, even though he was definitely not a real cowboy.
Right.
He was from I think he was from LA. He was from California, I believe, and never actually worked as a cowboy. Never lived that life. He just played one on TV. And so it's really funny when people, I think it was during the last presidential election, or maybe the one before, where they're like, we need a real man like John Wayne. And it's like, you guys want the real John Wayne or the characters he was playing? Because those are different. But anyway.
I read a super interesting book called Jesus and John Wayne recently. And it was about how like, have you read it, Walker?
No, I know about it though.
Yeah. It's basically about how like why have Christians wanted these like masculine figures in office, since, World War II or before World War II, or basically, you need strong leadership, but also it's like, why are we name dropping like Braveheart and The Patriot, and like, do you know who Mel Gibson is? Do you know who John Wayne really was?
Right.
And anyway, it was a really interesting book. So one quote I love that, I don't know if you guys caught this, but when Jim is telling Bart, as the Waco Kid, he said, I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. Did y'all like catch that or look into that at all?
I caught it. I don't think I remember who that is though.
So apparently, Cecil B. DeMille was in like he made the 10 Commandments in the 50s, and kind of
okay.
But basically like a bunch of people died on his sets because they were just like so crazy and over the top.
Yeah.
And so I like didn't really understand the joke at first, but then when I like looked into it, I was like, that's really, really funny, because like people
really
would have
funny.
understood it, like
Yeah.
seeing it in theaters. So yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the footage from that movie?
I mean, I've
No.
seen the movie a long time ago. I saw it.
So in the scene, like the Red Sea scene, they used like a huge like tank of, I think it's like 300 something gallons of water. It's like nuts what they did. And I think that's like when I think people drowned or something. Like it's pretty
Really?
insane stuff that they did.
Yep.
But yeah, I
I
just
mean-
see 3 extras drowned and one extra was injured so badly he had to have his leg amputated.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
They just don't make them like they used
they
to,
don't
you
make
know?
them like they used
Exactly.
to, man.
You know what? The 10 Commandments could not be made today. What if Mel Gibson remakes the 10 Commandments?
He's still around, man. They just made that or Mel Gibson. Never mind. I thought you were talking about Mel Brooks. Mel Gibson's
Yeah.
still around too.
Mel Gibson is still
They're
around.
both still around.
Or
Mel Gibson
Brooks,
and Mel
sorry.
Brooks are both still
They're
around.
both
Mels.
alive. Both the
So-
Mels are alive.
Mel Gibson is making
Passion
a
of the Christ 2.
sequel. Yeah, to Passion of the Christ.
Oh my gosh. Can I please just real quick
To
go
Passion,
off
to
topic?
Christ.
Just real quick, please.
That got Olivia.
That did. Here's the deal. That joke will work on me almost every single time.
Yep.
So, anyway, yes.
Here's your
Yes,
soapbox.
Walker.
Okay,
Walker.
soapbox. So everyone right now, if you have HBO Max, go watch Neighbors. There are 4 episodes. There are going to be more. They come out on Fridays. It is a documentary series about every episode's 30 minutes, and it covers 2 different sets of neighbors that are feuding for some reason. And there's episode 2 has this lady who, like, her and her neighbor are feuding because she feeds a bunch of stray cats, and the cats stay around her house. And they're pooping and peeing everywhere, and it smells terrible. And her neighbor's mad about it. So this episode of the show, they're talking about that. Then it hard cuts to this like weird looking tapestry in her apartment, and she goes, "This is the tapestry of Jesus Christ. It's a hologram, though. You have to wear 3D glasses to see Jesus." And like, then they proceed to like go on for just a few minutes. Like, this lady is going through some sort of religious psychosis or something. Like, she's kind of crazy, and she writes short films, and she's been writing short films, and now she wrote a feature film script about, like, I guess she said, like, in the Bible, you know, there's a time of Jesus's life that is not covered in any of the Gospels. So she wrote a script about that,
No.
and she's like,
oh, no.
I need Mel Gibson to make this into a movie. And so like she's like trying to get a meeting with like a producer from one of Mel Gibson's movies. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that
That's
show is
interesting.
also awesome. Neighbors is amazing. It's so funny and crazy and weird.
Yeah, I am pretty curious now to go check.
That's the second episode?
Yeah, the first episode is so good. Oh my gosh, it's
All
so
right,
good.
All right.
And the second episode, I'm gonna text this to you guys. Sorry, listeners. Just watch the second episode of the show, and you'll know what I'm gonna send. It's these 2 dudes, this couple. And the second I saw this, I knew that these dudes were gonna be my guys, and they rule. They rule so hard. So I'm gonna send a
So
picture.
funny.
Yeah, back to Blazing Saddles.
Anyway, yeah, Blazing Saddles. My phone is charging on a really short charger.
Okay,
so I can't look at it right
It's
now.
a picture of 2 older gay men in a hot tub in their house.
I was
hot tub
gonna
movie.
say, I didn't know they were gay. I was gonna say 2 guys in a hot tub sitting 5 feet apart because they're not gay. But they're gay and they're not 5
Yeah.
feet apart, so that
Yep.
makes sense.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't want to sit close to like my wife in a hot tub because it's hot, you know. It's just like I already wouldn't want to, you know.
That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard anyone
Really?
say, I think.
Isaac is not a wife guy.
I'm not true.
I'm just kidding. You are totally a wife guy. Not when it comes
Isaac-
to hot tubs, though.
It's just like it's not
when's the last
sexy
time
to
you were
me if
in a
I'm like
hot tub?
sweating a ton, you know?
Why,
or like
what hot tub are you in that's that hot? Are you in
Are
a,
you in a sauna? Are
You're
you
not in a
confusing
sauna.
saunas?
It's like a warm tub, right?
no,
You
hot
know?
tubs are like warm and I don't know.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dog
Hot dog bread bowl.
activity dog.
It's like a bunch of hot dog chopped up in a big old bread bowl.
Hot tubs can get really hot. However, most of the time you can control the temperature.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Okay, I'll on our next episode I'm gonna really process this and think about it and
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
report
hey,
back.
pray about it.
Pray about it.
You know the scene I thought of when you talked about the hot tub, or when you mentioned the hot tub? I thought of the scene in Shanghai Noon with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson
Yeah,
in the hot
yeah,
tub.
yeah.
That's a funny scene.
Yeah. Okay, Isaac, I feel like we have not like met your expectations of like talking about this film. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I'm feeling right now.
Mhm.
And so I want to hear your thoughts, cuz Walker and I aren't huge on this movie, but you are. And so I want you to like just geek out for the next few minutes. Like we're at minute 46, almost 47. So we've got some
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I want you to geek out. Tell us your thoughts on this movie.
I mean, I already have. I
All
think
right,
the other
never
thing
mind,
I
won't do
wanted.
it again.
Oh, well, okay.
I won't give you the room then.
I mean, in the scenes, like the ending scene, I think is a stroke of genius, where it's like, okay, we're gonna like literally break all the walls and make it 5-dimensional. Okay, well, now we're in the real world, and they ride away in a limousine and that kind of thing. But the thing I wanted to circle back to is that, when I was doing the research for the movie, Burton Gillum, who plays Lyle, so Slim Pickens is the sheriff, or like the main bad guy who's like leading up the posse, but he's kind of like seen as the idiot. Lyle is like the second in command guy.
Mhm.
Burton Gillum was, he was cast, and then he was like really uncomfortable reading all these lines because he's like, I think he's like one of the first. Him and Slim Pickens are like the first people in the movie who they pull
Yeah.
up, and they're like saying the N word like so much,
And other racial
And-
slurs.
and
Yeah.
other racial slurs. And in the behind the scenes that I watched, you can see on his face he's like sincerely like he still feels like bad for saying those things, even
Yeah.
though like he said, Cleavon said, dude, just like I know this isn't from you. I know that you are not this way. This is a script. This is all pretend. Like, you just got to
Yeah.
go with it.
Mhm.
And it's cool, man. Like, you can say whatever you want and I'm going to roll with it. And, I think it's just a really interesting testament to, like, that's what Mel Brooks said. Like, that's the reason this movie worked. And he fought
Mhm.
Warner Brothers. Like, he wrote it in 1971. And then he basically fought with them for years to get it made like into this version, because initially they were like, we're not going to let you do any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he basically
Yeah.
got them to let him do this version, which is crazy, in 1974, because, people were very, very aware of that stuff. And that was like before like woke was a term, So I just think it's really fascinating looking at it, and that like Cleavon Little's career didn't really take off from it, from this, and he was he was kind of not ridiculed, but his career kind of suffered because pockets of the African American community were not supportive of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Pryor wrote the movie as well with Mel Brooks. It was like Andrew Bergman, Norman Steinberg, Mel Brooks, Richard Pryor, and Alan Uger. And, that was in Richard Pryor's phase where he in his stand-up, he was using the N-word a lot.
Mhm.
And then he
Mhm.
eventually got to the point where he like actually said like, I don't feel good about doing this anymore, and he stopped.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting looking back on it, and you couldn't make it today because the conditions were just very different, and like the creators were all kind of like on the same page of understanding what they wanted to say and how they wanted to go about kind of like making fun of racism in that way. And
Yeah.
and I just think it works really well. And it's like, it's silly, dumb humor, like the bean scene where they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
farting and burping and
Yeah.
stuff is so funny. And there's a sign on the fence that says administrative personnel only, knock on barbed wire only if required. And it's like there's barbed wire on the fence, and it's just like little details like that crack me up.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I do think, like, I don't know if this movie needs to be made again,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think you can talk about these same themes in a comedic way today, and I think if you had the right team doing it, like, I think if you got someone like Donald Glover to write a script along these lines with what is that guy's name? John Francis Daly, who wrote Game Night and
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I think if like they teamed up to write something like this, it would be amazing. But I don't think we need this to be again. I'm not a remake kind of gal anyway. I
Mhm.
think we as in a general, we have relied too much on remakes, and we don't need that. I think we
I wasn't
need-
saying like if
No,
it would
yeah,
be
yeah.
made. Like if it was the conditions for that being,
Right.
for the movie
Which-
being made back then,
which
are-
makes sense if he.
were
I mean,
unique, so
if Mel Brooks wrote this script and took it to Warner Brothers in 1971, that's only 4 or 5 years removed, if that, from MLK's assassination, Malcolm X's assassination, the civil rights movement. So like, I understand that, and also like, we're in a similar place right now in
Yeah.
our world, right? And so the conditions are always going to be difficult, I think, to make movies that touch on something like this. However, we've seen it more so with horror recently, right? Like with Jordan Peele's movies. And those are pretty dark, but they're also funny at times. So again, you can make movies like this. You just have to be really funny about it.
Yeah.
I think it expanded into short, like Key and Peele are probably the ones who have successfully replicated the Blazing Saddles tone in terms of just just making jokes and insightful and like overt about race and about like being black.
I think
and also about like being gay and stuff like they have some really funny sketches about just being gay. So
But
yeah.
okay, but how familiar are you with In Living Color? So, Walker, are you familiar with In Living
Mm-mm.
Color? Okay.
No.
So that was a sketch comedy show in the 90s that had the Wayans brothers, and it had Jim Carrey on it. Like, Jim Carrey, when he didn't make it onto SNL, he ended up getting onto the show called In Living Color, and I think in a similar vein. So like yes, I think more modern version of it, a more recent version,
And that's what I meant.
is Key and Peele, but like, let's the Wayans brothers, the whole Wayans family have really truly, I think, hit on similar themes throughout their careers,
Mhm.
and you see that a lot with
White Chicks like reversed it. So
right, yeah, and you see that with In Living Color. There's one that I remember my mom referenced a lot growing up, and it's something I've seen a couple times, where one of them, I can't remember which brother it is, but they're basically he's playing like a gay man, and he saw some movie called The Black Stallion, and he's like, and I was so upset because Denzel Washington was not in that movie, and it was just really, really funny because Denzel Washington's the Black Stallion, and so I think that in a lot of ways, Blazing Saddles blazed the trail for the Wayans brothers, for Key and Peele, for Donald Glover, for these really big names that we are familiar with now, that, and you know, like what you were saying earlier, Isaac, about Airplane, like yeah, this Blazing Saddles in a lot of ways is probably one of the really biggest and most well-known satirical works that allowed for all the things that we are so familiar with now, right? Like with Airplane, with Naked Gun, with, you know, later down the road, I think even with like SNL and that kind of stuff, right? Like all of those people will easily point to Mel Brooks as being one of the biggest influences to in the world of comedy. I don't think we have comedy in the state that it is right now, or has been for the past 50 something years, if it wasn't for Mel Brooks. Like he has huge influence, and you know, I think you could point to any major comedian now and they would say, yeah, Mel Brooks is a huge inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, they just released that documentary about him for his birthday that has so
Is he
many
gonna be
people.
100 this year?
He's 100 this year.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's cool.
Citing him as a huge influence.
Yeah. I mean, what he also is, to me, he's kind of similar to, what is his name? Norm Lear, that's who I was thinking of. Norm Lear, in the sense of like he pioneered a lot of stuff and blazed the trail for a lot of different voices to be heard and discussed. Am I being played off right now?
No.
You know, because Norm Lear also did a lot of different sitcoms growing up. I say growing up, they were all before our time, but you know, he did All in the Family. He did The Jeffersons. The Jeffersons dropped the N-word on like basic cable. Yeah. So that was a huge deal. But anyway, so I just think like we don't get comedy without these pioneers like Norman Lear, like Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I really respect, I think, this movie and Mel Brooks, and like he's not afraid to be silly and not afraid to obviously take like big risks, because it's like very easily the end of this movie could have not been funny. Like very easily it could have just fallen flat. And so it was a big risk to break the fourth wall in that way and break a bunch of other walls in the process. But like it works really well, and I think it's because they're having fun. Like they are having fun making this movie. They're having fun writing it, and it comes across in the filmmaking. And so I think I just respect that so much. And yeah, we need more people out there being silly. Let's get some more silly movies.
Let's freaking do it. Like the two things that you reminded me of, Walker, is one, the toll booth. Where they are all lined up.
Damn it! Someone's got to go get a bunch of Doms.
And, like that part, and then when they ride into town, and it's just like it's literally another Looney Tunes gag where it's like all the storefronts, but it's just they just like all fall down.
Yeah, that is a Looney Tunes
gag. And then like
gag.
they blow them up, and there's that scene where the horse is just shot like hundreds of feet into the air.
Oh, that makes me think of a scene too I love. And I looked something up about it, and it's actually apparently based off of something that Mel Brooks saw. When Mongo knocks the horse out, just punches it and knocks it out, that's apparently based off of Mel Brooks was hanging out with someone one time, and a horse kicked the dude's wife off, so he punched the horse in the face.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that he punched the dude, and he or he punched the horse, and they like trained the horse to fall down.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man,
that's so funny.
So good. I did see. So my daughter fell asleep at like 8:00, and I was like, okay, I gotta go, watch what I can or do research or whatever. And it's not on HBO Max anymore, and I don't know if that's like part of what's going on with the freaking Ellisons.
Yeah.
getting ready
Yeah.
to acquire it or something, but it's like not on there anymore.
But yeah, I had
And
to rent
it was
it.
it was on there
I
as part of
also
like the
had to rent it.
TCM, and there was like a trigger warning and contextual introduction and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and it's not there anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it before it just disappears.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
So, Isaac, Walter did send a voice memo of his
Okay.
thoughts. I don't know if you want to splice that in, how you want to go about that. I just want you to be aware of the fact he did send us a voice memo.
I will let Walter edit it in.
Okay, great.
So, Blazing Saddles, from my recollection, watching it I think 2 or 3 years ago now, is that it's still really funny today, but probably a lot funnier when it was made. And you can take that as you will.
Cool.
Since he's producing. Any other thoughts on this movie or our next movie, or just, I don't know, thoughts you're having about theology? Because I know.
Am I
How
hanging
do
out
we
with
have-
Walter
Walter's gonna-
right now?
Walter's
Am
gonna
I
love
hanging
that,
out with
yeah.
Walter?
I
Walter
think
and I.
all in all, go ahead.
Well, if you're gonna talk about the movie, go, because I'm not.
Okay. I was
I
gonna say,
wasn't
I
going
think
to,
all
at
in
least.
all, this was a funny movie, and I'm glad
Yeah.
I watched it. I wish I had enjoyed it and loved it as much as you, Isaac. However, I'm glad that you somehow got us to watch it through this episode.
Yep.
So, had a great time, enjoyed it. Would watch it with a group of people. I don't know if I'd seek it out on my own. I think that's also part of my problem. I watch it by myself,
Me
and
too.
sometimes I need to be with other people to
But
really
see, that's
enjoy the
how, for me personally, that's how I know. Like, if I'm completely by myself, and I'm like, Bottoms was the same way.
Sure.
Like Bottoms,
Sure.
I was like crying, laughing
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie. And Blazing Saddles was the same way. And like I was at home watching Blazing Saddles for the first time, and I was watching Bottoms in a theater, and
with one other guy.
with one other guy who was in his
Nice.
50s probably. So
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
who was not laughing
Oh,
that I could tell.
Boo.
So anyway,
Walker, what were you gonna say?
about
I was gonna
theology.
say, Walter and I did something yesterday that I've not done in a long time, and it was we did Two Guys in a Computer. Have you guys ever done that? You know that famous
I don't even
move?
know what that means.
So that's when two guys, usually white men,
Is
just
that
hang.
like Two Girls, One Cup?
It's similar, I
No.
guess. They hang out around a computer and they just show each other YouTube videos.
So middle school.
Yeah, we did that for like 3 hours yesterday. So
Oh, okay. That was just a middle
It's a
school
lot of fun.
sleepover for me.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two
Two
guys
guys
in
on
a
a
computer. Yep.
That's fun.
What if we
Would you
made a
do it
movie
again?
about that? That would be
Mm.
funny.
Two guys, one computer. That could be good. You can.
Should we start working on that
Mm.
script?
Is that a
Yeah.
really good idea?
Let me sleep on it. Let me take some melatonin and sleep on it, and then I'll let you know in the morning.
Let's all have a melatonin nightmare, and then right.
I don't have melatonin nightmares.
Yeah, I know that's like a meme. I have awesome dreams when I take melatonin.
I just
Really?
don't remember my dreams, which is fine. I don't want to. Normally, if I do remember anything, it's not good. So, not a good
I
time.
had a crazy dream a couple weeks ago, and I can't remember what it was. But when I woke up, I remembered what it was, and I told Jess, and I was like, "That was crazy," and now I can't remember.
And Jess was like, okay. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
just
She was not like that. I'm sure.
describing a dream to someone has to be one of the most painful experiences
Huh?
you can have. It sucks. It's
Imagine
never as
being a
interesting as
therapist.
anything. That's
do
all I
your
would tell my
patients talk to you about their dreams?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes
Really?
I'll hear clients talk about their dreams, and usually it's me going, so what does that mean to you? Sometimes it's very blatantly obvious, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm like, could it mean that maybe you feel trapped? And it's like,
Oh.
huh. But sometimes it's like really weird stuff that I'm like, your guess is as good as mine, girl.
Yeah.
Sounds like a melatonin nightmare.
I would tell everyone that their dream meant that a drought or famine's coming and they need to get the king to store up a bunch of grain.
So good, Walker.
You know what? I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing
I think-
that. I hope the next client that comes in my office and tells me about their dream is super religious. So
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
I'm not gonna lie. Like reading that section of Exodus just kind of like annoys me because I'm like every time I get to it, I try to figure it out beforehand. 'Cause, like
Yeah.
I've read this passage like dozens of times. I'm like, how did he arrive at that conclusion? Was something lost in
Well,
translation?
and can I
It
also-
doesn't make sense.
Can I also say, it also is interesting that no one had ever thought of saving food before. Like they never were
Mm.
like, maybe we shouldn't eat all the food all the time.
Or
And
like
they're like,
waste food.
Dude,
and-
you're a
yeah.
genius, bro. You're really smart.
I mean, at that point in time, people had been around for very long, right? So I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends.
the
Olivia,
skinny
how
cows
long, how old
ate
do you
the
think the
fat
Earth
cows.
is?
I
How
really
old is
don't
the
know.
Earth?
And this question makes me want to throw up every time I really think about it. So I think we should end this episode.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Thanks to Walter Lyle for producing this episode. Thanks to me for doing the musical cues. Thank you to both of you for indulging me on one of my favorite movies, even though someone did recommend it. Probably Zach.
Oh, that could be
TBD.
it. That could be it. Let
Yeah.
me see if he texted me his recommendations.
Yeah.
Mm,
That would be good.
are we gonna wait for?
Yeah,
Walter
we're
to find out?
waiting.
Okay,
We're
we're
waiting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I'm
gotta
not
find
moving
it
quick.
now.
I gotta go quick.
Let's do this.
Oh, let me say it.
Let's do
I don't
this.
know where he would. I didn't see it in the text. Another favorite quote from this movie: "They said you was hung. They was right." So funny.
Did it make it into the movie? The he when he's with Lily von Stupp and he's like, I hate to disappoint you, but that's just my arm or something like that.
No, I think that's
cut
like the
that.
one thing that he agreed to cut.
Yeah. Hedley Lamar's like, how did he do such fantastic stunts with such little feet? And he's like in the like face down in the concrete at the Chinese theater. Oh man, so good. Oh man. All right. Well, this was a good time. I guess
Yep.
we can just ride off into the sunset now. So.
Yep. Might have a couple of Dublin drops next week on our episode.
Ayo.
Recording reminders of him on St. Patrick's Day.
We're recording it on St. Patrick's Day. It's coming out 2 days later, though.
Yeah, but we are gonna be drunk.
We'll still be hungover 2 days later.
Yeah. They said you was hungover. They was right.
They was right.
Yeah. And I'll end this with Hedley Lamar's go do whatever it is you do. Said you will be risking your lives, and I will almost certainly be risking an Academy Award nomination.
Kind of like our president.
Yeah. Nice.
When outlaws rule the West and fear filled the land, a cry went up for a man with guts to take